This could be the next generation BMW i3. So far it's called BMW i Vision Circular. And why circular? This car here is showcasing at the IAA Motor Show in Munich how a future BMW could look like, and also circular economy or circular production process, how everything comes to a circle. Why? This car is made from 100% reused or recycled materials and can also be to 100% be reused or recycled. And this is of course a very ambitious goal, and here on the Motor Show BMW released their aim is to be the most sustainable premium manufacturer. That's a tough goal actually, and of course here we on Autogefuel with Thomas will follow this goal if this is really true. Let's take a look at this concept here, and I mean this could really be a next generation i3. We see the next generation of the double kidneys might be wider again, so we have seen a lot of evolution with the double kidneys. Here everything integrated, of course, all electric vehicle, and you can see there is no paint on this vehicle. This is actually an anodized material, so there's no chemical paint on it. Also, once again, to save resources and to make it more environmentally friendly. Very interesting. And if we move over to the side profile, you can see it's not such a long vehicle. It has this kind of one-box design, or BMW calls it mono volume. Interesting. And even the tires here, they are actually a mix of natural rubber and reused old classic rubber. So even with the tires, they follow a sustainability approach. Further on here on the side profile, you can see it's rather a glass box, but it's not only autonomous or something, where a lot of concept vehicles are. Here, this one still has the steering wheel. We can also soon take a look at the interior, which is open in a very spectacular way. But you can see a lot of glass is being used. And still they try to somehow keep a BMW identity. Here reminds us also of current BMWs with this strong lower side skirt there, and also with this strong shoulder area right here. Of course, this kind of one-box design might not seem that sexy at first glance, but really looking forward to your comments. What do you think here about this vehicle? Let's take a look at the rear, because here we have rather, a hatch shape, but once again, a lot of glass, and the tail lamps are also seamlessly integrated. Everything then actually aiming for better wind efficiency, and I really like this illuminated BMW logo here at the rear. That looks actually pretty fancy. Now let's take a look at the interior. The doors open like this, and yeah, it seems to be that these cars always want to show suicide doors. Interesting that also the steel and aluminum that's being used is reused. That's also a very interesting approach. And you can see here an all fabric interior. So there's no paint, no animal leather, no chrome being used on this vehicle. So I really like this very consistent approach they've taken, and this looks really living room alike. Future cars will be more like living rooms. Yeah, if this is maybe too much, we can discuss about that. But this really looks completely different. Here's some kind of like glass craftsmanship work, for example. That's also pretty interesting. And once again, no animals in the vehicle. That's of course also a good approach. And what I also find quite fancy, that the interior has become maybe a little bit more plush, and maybe also for autonomous driving, but even if you're driving yourself, can't hurt to be a little bit softer right there. This is also pretty cool, because you can see there's an EV platform, of course, and you have an even floor. This is supposed to carry a solid-state battery. This is something that might come in the future, and solid-state batteries can actually carry more dense capacity. At the same time, you don't need more space, and that's why you can have just a higher range. Steering wheel here, flat bottom design. We see something similar already in the BMW iX, the production vehicle. You can also tune into a review here on Autogefuel on our channel. And this glass capacitive buttons, and that might be something. I mean, capacitive curves, hashtag capacitive curves, I don't like them when they're hidden behind these, just panel lacquer surfaces. But in the iX, we've seen a wood surface with capacitive buttons. Here, glass surface with capacitive buttons. And this might be a solution to make capacitive buttons sexy again. Can we open the other door as well? That it might be a cool show effect, right? Yeah, there we go. So here you can really literally jump and walk through the vehicle. What's also interesting is a thing that already works actually. We've tested it, I think in Las Vegas on CS like a couple of years ago. this is also planned for this one here, sound zones, so you can sit like here and listen to your own music, and you can sit on the other seat and listen to another music. This won't give you the best surround effect, of course, but at least when you are arguing with your spouse maybe about the music choice, that might solve a lot of problems. And this is actually a thing that is thought out for, a lot of different new concept vehicles, So would this one be a new i3? At that point, so many years ago, meanwhile, the i3 was really leading. Today, it could even be a concept car still. This might then be the next step, but I really like that we still have a steering wheel and we still also have throttle and brake pedals. So I like to be able to drive my car myself still. But clearly, this concept here stands for a BMW approach of even more sustainability and in a very consistent way. By the way, also that they don't have any waste in production. So, for example, the main part of the steering wheel is 3D printed. And with 3D printing, you apply different layers and then you don't have any cutaway materials like with a typical steel and aluminum stancing. And even in that part here, they take the rest of the materials and then reuse them again. And more 3D printing, if Cornelius, our cameraman, shows us here like the connection of the door and the chassis. There you can see this 3D printing surface where you don't use, you leave some gaps to use actually less materials. So this looks also very interesting. You see this, this whole structure right there, also 3D printed. So definitely 3D printing is also something that is coming ahead in car manufacturing. And there is even a theory, I want to share that with you, that with 3D printing, car manufacturing could become something with lower or at the end of the day maybe zero marginal cost. That means that you can produce cars anywhere, and it also doesn't matter that much anymore how many cars you produce, and that could actually bring down prices for the cars overall. So will this one be then a rather affordable BMW that goes really full circle for the whole car production? That is a very interesting goal, and that's why I want to share this vehicle with you. Please also tune into the BMW iX review, the final production week of the big SUV. Maybe not that sustainable, but as sustainable as it gets maybe at the moment at BMW for big SUVs. At least some approach right there. And also tune in to more concept vehicles here we've shown to you recently.